to stand. Now he runs. He produces a magic print. He pulls out another one. This is incredible. This is ridiculous. This is 15 out of 10 of the incredible meter. What a player. What an entertainer. Give him the medal. Give him the Dally M medal.
Hello, footy fans, and welcome back to the Chip and Chase podcast. We are here for our Round 7 review, wrap-up of all things that happened in Round 7 of the NRL Telstra Premiership season. But as we do around here nowadays, we're going to start us off, kick things off by taking a look at our Team of the Week for Round 7. So if you guys don't know, we do this every week. We put together a bit of a post and all the graphics and everything, and that goes up on our Instagram. So if you're not following the Instagram, please go check that out. That is at Chip and Chase Podcast. But we'll just be reading through the players that made my Team of the Week this week, and some of the selections that maybe just missed out. So let's kick things off with our fullback for Round 7, which of course is Reece Walsh. Now, there were a lot of good names in this week, particularly Trey Fuller I thought was very unlucky to miss out. I thought Will Kennedy had a good game. There's another fullback that I'm missing off the top of my head who was fantastic. Connor Tracy I thought was brilliant. There were a lot, but I thought Reece Walsh, he was the pick of the bunch this week. Look, again, how we do this, we will look at his stats and everything and talk a bit more about what I saw through the game, a bit more in depth when we get to that game review. So today, this part of the podcast is literally just naming them and saying how I thought they were brilliant, essentially. But yeah, Reece Walsh, I thought he was a bit better than every other fullback this week. He had an excellent game. Very interesting to see how the Broncos are going to continue into this season once they get their troops back, because they're winning games emphatically like this with him back, and they're still missing players like Adam Reynolds and Payne Haas. So yeah, Reece Walsh, he's my fullback for Team of the Week. We'll start with the wingers. I've definitely got Jack Bostock. He was the winger of the round this week. As you guys know, not every podcast, I'm a little bit critical of Jack Bostock a lot of times, and it's not because I don't think he's a good player. I think he is a fantastic player, and he's still young. He's got a lot of growing to do. But there's just a few parts of his game that I'm like, look, they're going to catch up to you. You need to fix those things out. And in this game, he more than fixed them up. It's all good and well to sit there and look at his 3 tries and 1 try assist or those ridiculous stats, but it's the errors and everything in his game that, I thought he really improved on this week, and he was absolutely fantastic. So shout out Jack Bostock. He is one of the wingers. The other winger, back-to-back, Ronaldo Mulitalo makes his way into the Team of the Week. Sort of a hotly contested field. He beat the likes of Jacob Kiraz and Sania Taruva, even Jason Saab, who I thought had a terrific game as well. But Ronaldo, he gets in once again, having a fantastic season, is Mulitalo. Into the halves, let's go back to the centres, who I missed out on, The first of which is Tessie New, another Dolphins player. Absolutely killed it. Started the season in the first grade team, dropped back to reserve grade. He's come back in and he hasn't missed a beat. Looking really, really slick is Tessie New, so he gets one of the centre positions. And the other one, also back-to-back, but in 2 separate positions, Zach Lomax. He is the other centre for my Team of the Week. He is having an incredible 2024 season, and they're talking representative honours, New South Wales, etc. I would not be shocked. I don't think he'd look at a place on his current form. So Zach Lomax is the other centre in my Team of the Week. Ezra Mam gets the 5/8 jersey. He beat over the likes of Braden Trindle, and there's another one who slips my mind right now, but Ezra Mam, I thought, pick of the bunch. He was fantastic for the Broncos in their win. He is partnered with Ben Hunt as the other halves partner. Hunt, there was some fantastic halfbacks, as you see. There's another halfback that made my bench, but Hunt, he beat out the likes of Isaiah Katoa and Nico Hines, etc. Just a fantastic game from Ben Hunt, so really good to see that from him. Moving into the forwards, we have gone with Addin Fonua-Blake to start. Now, of course, the Warriors didn't quite get the win, and I say didn't quite get the win. They were nowhere near the win, let's be honest. But Addin Fonua-Blake's performance could not be understated regardless. We'll look more into the numbers a bit closer into it, but Fonua-Blake was absolutely outstanding. So he gets 1 front row position. He is partnered by the incoming replacement for him, James Fisher-Harris, who was incredible for the Penrith Panthers as well. And as I said, the man that is going to replace Vanua Blake at the Warriors. So really good signs for the Warriors there when you've got essentially two forwards in the team of the week and they're replacing each other. So those are my front rowers. And in the hooker role, we have Jeremy Marshall-King. He beat out Reid Marnie, who I thought was really good, aside from his, just silly shit at the end. He does that, Reid Marnie, and it pisses me off every time. But he had a really good game, Reid Marnie. But Jeremy Marshall-King thought he was much better. Not much better. He was just fantastic, though, Jeremy Marshall-King. So he's the hooker in my team of the week. In the second row, we have Jordan Ricky and Eliesa Katoa. Both had really good games, both scoring tries this week as well. So shout out both of them. And lock forward, Maxi Plath with the game of his young career so far. What an incredible performance. Again, we'll read into it a bit when we get into that game, but shout out Max Plath. He beat out Paddy Carrigan, who we'll see, but he gets a spot on my bench, does Patrick Carrigan, as he always somehow manages to do. He's in my team of the week every week, Pat Carrigan. He's the GOAT. So the bench, how this works is we choose the best back that didn't make the starting 13, the best spine player who didn't make the starting 13, the best forward who didn't make the starting 13, and the best bench player of the round. So number 14, we have Jacob Kiraz, the best back. Thought he was fantastic. Yeah, as I said, unlucky to miss out over the likes of Ronaldo. He wasn't going to beat Bostock. Bostock had the game of the week, in my opinion. But Kiraz was very close to the starting side, but he snagged himself on the bench here. Fantastic game from Jacob Kiraz for the Bulldogs. We then have Isaiah Katoa as my number 15, so that's our spine player. It was between him or Nico Hines. I thought both had fantastic games, but the fact that Isaiah Katoa at his age and what he's doing in a game that many didn't think the Dolphins had a chance in, I've gone with him, just the circumstances of it. Fantastic stuff. As I said, the forward that made my bench is just Patrick Carrigan. He's averaging almost 200 metres a game this season. He's just doing ridiculous stuff. He's going to be set and forget. Lock him into my team of the week every week with the rate he's playing. So shout out him. And number 17, Sam Hughes off the bench gets my bench player. Snagged another try, did Sam Hughes. Ran for over 100 metres. Just really good stuff from him. He's turning into a really good forward for the Bulldogs, someone that they desperately need. But that one there, that wraps up our team of the week. As I said, if you want to see the graphics for this, head over to the Instagram and, drop a comment. Let me know who you think should have made the team or whatnot, or here for feedback or here for some civil discussions and to have a chat about it. But that is my team of the week. And yeah, go show the graphics some love. Work really hard on this each and every week. So yeah, thank you guys. But we'll get straight into our review now, starting with the Thursday game. The Roosters going down to the Storm 12-18. Once again, another very high-quality game to kick us off for the round. As I said last week, every sort of first game of the round so far this season has been really entertaining. This one very much so as well. I saw a lot of people commenting that they didn't really like this game, which, I disagree. I thought it was fantastic. Both sides played some really high-quality footy. In fairness, I didn't think the refereeing was good at all, but that's another topic, and I don't want to get into ref bashing. I just want to, if I think the refereeing is like substantial, like calls can go one way or the other, and there can be some iffy calls. That's fine. Humans make mistakes, and you miss some things. But when it's like consistently bad, I'll just give my thoughts. I'll just say, look, it's bad. I'll point out a few things. This game, I thought the refereeing was very poor, but it didn't take too much away from the spectacle, in my opinion. I did think the Storm were the deserved winners of this game, so you can't call any robberies or anything, in my opinion. Regardless, let's get into some of the standouts. Let's start with the Roosters, of course, because they were the losers in this one. Look, again, wasn't a bad performance from the Roosters. You can't look at the score, only scoring 12 points and say they had a bad game. It's definitely not their best, but I thought they still played well. They played tough. James Tedesco had his hands in everything. He just couldn't manage to find the right plays, or the Storm just shut him down so well, which is what you need to do with someone like James Tedesco. He's still one of the best fullbacks in our league. But yeah, Storm they shut him down. Their defense in general, the entire game, absolutely superb, the Storm. They were just covering everything. The way they just constantly pull and slide in defense was just incredible. So got to shout them out, and to shut down players like James Tedesco, it's no easy feat. So yeah, a massive shout out to the Storm defense. But James Tedesco, I still thought he had a really good game. He tried a lot. Obviously Joey Manu with his heroics last week, everyone started thinking, oh, maybe Tedesco's out. Look, everything's blowing my mind. with talking about Tedesco missing Origin, talk about this, who's going to be the man to replace Tedesco. He's playing some bloody good footy, and we just compare him to 2019 James Tedesco or something? I don't know what the go is, but Tedesco's been one of the better fullbacks in the NRL this year. I'd still have him top 5 in performances alone. And yeah, there's so much conjecture about him, and I don't understand it. Like, looking at this game alone, he still ran the ball 22 times, 176 metres, 54 post contact, 6 tackle breaks. He was everywhere. He was trying to, and you can look at that. A lot of people said last year he was trying too hard. He was overplaying his hand. Fair enough. I agree. Last year, I think he was. This game, you can look at those numbers and no try assists and no tries, and you go, maybe he was overplaying his hand. I don't think so at all. I think the Storm just did fantastically to shut him down. But in saying that, the defense of the Roosters, I thought, was really, really good as well. Especially in particular their right-hand defence. So the Joey Manu, Connor Watson, Nat Butcher side, there was nothing coming out of that side. The Storm could not find any happy hours, and they kept attacking it. They just kept getting swamped, in every which way, between sliding or putting big shots on. There was one in particular where Joey Manu absolutely leveled out Sean Bloor. Like, just the reads and everything were fantastic on that side, but they were for the entire game. I thought the Roosters also defended well, but yeah, in particular that right hand side, Joey Manu is going to be sorely missed. Once again, had a fantastic game. I just mentioned his defense, but he was one of the only players to break this game open. He scored a try for the Roosters, one of their only 2. He's going to be sorely missed. Apparently they're looking like he'll only miss maybe half a season. Depends if he re-signs again for rugby union. But from what I'm hearing, from what I'm reading, is that season ends about halfway through next season. I think before the June 30 deadline. So they'll miss him for the first half, and then the Roosters are apparently holding some salary cap aside to hopefully re-sign him for the rest of the season, which would be fantastic. Go make your bank, Joey, but come back to us because we need you. The game is so much better for having Joey Manu. He was excellent in this one. As I said, scoring that nice try as well. Angus Crichton for the Sydney Roosters, thought he was fantastic. He is well and truly back to his best, playing 80 once again. I can't see a world where he is dropped unless something terrible happens in regards to his form or if he gets injured. But Jesus Christ, he's so hard to handle. I think when he's on, he's still the best second rower in our game. I would take him over David Fafita, over Viliame Kikau. Those players might have some more electric moments, some things that Angus can't do. But from the fundamentals that you need from a second rower, your line running, your hitting in defense, just everything that Angus Crichton does, I don't think there's a better second rower in the game than Angus when he's at his best. And he was back to his best in this one. 18 runs, 160 metres, 75 post-contact, 3 tackle breaks, and 30-odd tackles. He was just superb, and I'm so happy he's back to his best. One of my favourites. So shout out Angus Crichton. Beyond that, for the Roosters, there weren't too many. I did like their forward pack duel. It's weird with their forward packs. Their numbers don't... Sorry, their front rows, I should say. Their numbers don't jump out at you, but they play it's superb footy. Lindsay Collins, 8 runs, 73 metres. That's, a poor game in most players' standards. But what Lindsay Collins brings, it can't be read on numbers, and that's why he's an incumbent Origin player. Jared Warrior-Hargraves, 10 runs, 96 metres. I mean, not fantastic, but they're also playing 41 minutes for Jared, but you'd expect more than that. But honestly, the aggression they bring, their staunch in defence, everything about their front rowers, I think, is so good. And when they do take their runs, they make them hard, they make them work. But yeah, it is really weird with the Roosters front rowers because they don't really jump out at you. But when you watch the game, just watch them closely, and they do so much off the ball that you got to give them a massive shout out. Connor Watson, I thought, was fantastic. As I said, we sort of gave him a bit of a rap in the Roosters' right-hand defensive side. But beyond that, he had 17 runs for 129 metres, very much taking the running 5/8 role into his own. Not too much, passing or kicking as such, but that whole running game, yeah, fantastic, and he looked very threatening doing so. So shout out Connor Watson. Luke Keary as the halfback. I genuinely like this for the Roosters. It's going to be so hard what they do with Sam Walker back, because we know Sam Walker and Luke Keary are the best halves in the club by a long way, in my opinion, but they haven't seemed to fit. They haven't seemed to gel fantastically. They can still win games with both of them, but I think they just look like a more dangerous and complete footy side when they have Luke Keary steering the ship and someone else, whether it's Connor Watson or Sandon Smith at the 5/8 role. I don't know what the Roosters do. It's something that only Trent Robinson can work out. But yeah, Luke Keary I thought was good once again. And it's just going to be very interesting how they all go when they bring Sam Walker back. Once again, Victor Radley, he's having a terrific season so far. One of the best forwards in our game again. He's having the best season I've seen him have. You know, you look back to the Roosters back-to-back premierships and he was fantastic. But he's got the perfect mixture, the perfect blend of every element of his game at the moment in 2024. His passing, his running, his hits and defense, his aggression, just everything about him at the moment is fantastic. If we look at his stats once again, there you go, 23 runs, 190 metres, 61 post-contact, couple tackle breaks, nice little offload, and 36 of his own tackles in 80 minutes. He's just doing some fantastic things, Victor Radley. Really happy to see him sort of get back to this level of footy. He's doing really well. Another thing I did just want to quickly note before we move on from the Roosters is their rotations of Terrell May. Now, it's very inconsistent with what Trent Robinson's doing, which is fair enough. Like, he's the coach. When you're a bench player or when you're any player, you bring him on when you see fit and you take him off when you see fit. Like, it's just when the flow of the game needs a certain player. Now, Terrell May has been one of their best forwards this season. I'd say he has been their best forward consistently all season. Last week, he played about 57 minutes straight, maybe. This week, only 30 for Terrell May. He still punched out 9 runs and 80 metres. And how many tackles? 16 tackles as well. But yeah, only 30 minutes from Terrell May. It's just, I don't know, it's quite interesting how all that's going, especially when they sort of needed a bit more punch through the middle. The Storm were covering them quite well, so I thought Terrell May might have got more minutes in this one, but that's not the case. But we'll have to see how Trent Robinson handles those rotations in the future. Moving on to the Melbourne Storm. Once again, Ryan Papenhuyzen doing Ryan Papenhuyzen things. He's been decently quiet by Ryan Papenhuyzen standards, but again, if you're watching the game, the way he wraps up the footy, the way he just does his thing, he's still so sleek on the ball and he's providing exactly what the Melbourne Storm need. He doesn't need to be an absolute superstar 100% of the time. If they're grinding out wins and then when you need him to inject himself, he does. He did come up with that weird... they made a really nice line break. It was bloody... back to the Melbourne Storm big 3 days of Slater, Smith and Cronk, where it was an inside ball from Hughes. Papenhuyzen sprints up the middle, beautiful line break, and then he fires a pass to absolutely no one, which was a bit funny. But again, it's the fact that he's in those positions, he's making that happen. Terrible pass, sure, but he's going to nail those, 9 out of 10 times, and that just happened to be the one that he didn't. But he's still looking quite threatening. Nick Meaney thought he had a much improved game, was so much better defensively in this one than he was against the Bulldogs. So I'd love to see that. If you have a shocker, you're allowed a shocker every now and then. As long as it's how you respond to it is how I rate you as a player, and I'm sure that's how most coaches view it as well. So Nick Meaney thought he was really, really good in this one, and a great response to his last performance. Jerome Hughes, he's been fantastic this game. That was the man I left out when talking about my best fullbacks this week. Obviously wasn't going to pip the players that made my team of the week, but I thought Jerome Hughes was excellent once again. He's having an incredible 2024 season. I have just heard just before recording this podcast that he is considering asking for a release at the end of the season. Now, not sure how much that rings true. It's the Corey Parker apparently has reported it, so it's a big name in the game to report that. But apparently wants to move back closer to his family in Queensland. So going to be interesting how that plays out if it is to play out. We again, that's all just reported, guys, so don't shoot the messenger here. Beyond that, for the Storm, I thought Sean Bloor was absolutely phenomenal. Just he's settling into that team so well. Again, if you look at stats, it doesn't look... stand out all too well. He still managed 14 runs, 119 metres, played the full 80. I swear he didn't miss a tackle. 31 tackles, 0 missed. So, really good, just standard game. But I think what he's bringing is just, it's so good. It's exactly what the Storm need. We know he can have those moments of brilliance. He can be a spark player. He scored the match winner from last week, but he's very consistent, doesn't miss tackles. He's just... I reckon he's going to turn into an absolute star, which we knew Sean Bloor should have been if it weren't for the injuries in the last few years. So really good from Sean Bloor. Ali Katoa, really good game again. Of course, made my team of the week. Scored the try, had the offload that set up another line break, was just really damaging in everything that he did. Did have an error or two, I believe, Eli Katoa. I recall them, or maybe I'm thinking of no, he did have a couple errors. Yeah, I remember those, but well and truly made up for them with some good hits in defense as well. So shout out Eli Katoa. Trent Liero, he made my team of the week in the first, I think the first time we did this. He sort of regressed in his role a bit. They've put him back down to about 60 minutes per game. He's still like doing decently well in that, but I'd like to see him just really, I don't know, really stamp his authority in the game and turn into one of those better locks in the game. I think he's still quite young, Trent Liero. Let's have a quick look at how old Trent Liero is. I think he might be younger than me. 23. He is younger than me. Yep, there you go. He's only just turned 23 in February. So a lot of growing to do in his game. But yeah, he has been quite good this season. Christian Welch off the bench has been good. Of course, we got to see the return of Nelson in this game. Thought he was all right. I think he'll grow into the season very well. And Joe Chan, I thought, was good in his limited minutes back in the NRL as well. But that one wraps us up for this one. I do want to try and make these a bit shorter. You know, the fact I'm averaging nearly 2 hour podcast on these, I doubt many people listen to them in the first place. So I'm going to try and shoot through these a bit quicker nowadays. So we'll move into the first Friday game, that one being the Dragons and the Warriors. Dragons coming up with a shock win in this one. They were the underdogs, of course, and they came away 30-12 winners over the Warriors, who many are thinking are Premiership heavyweights this season. So really, really good win from the Dragons. You know, they've been playing some good footy. Definitely not a game I thought they'd win, and definitely a game as a Warriors fan I'm disappointed to have dropped that, because we need to be winning those if we are to be heavyweights for the Premiership. But Dragons, you've got to shout them out. They were fantastic across the board. Warriors didn't play their best footy, that's for sure, but I think a lot of it comes down to the Dragons and their defensive efforts in this one. But we will start with the Warriors, since they were in fact the losers in this one. Look, to be honest, I thought their middles tried their hearts out. I thought their forward pack not their forward pack, but definitely their middle forwards, your Tohu Harris, your Adam Fanua-Blake, your Mitch Barnett. I thought they were really, really good. I think it was honestly the efforts of Sean Johnson that let them down in this one. Now, I don't think Sean Johnson had a really, really poor game, but I think game management-wise, he needs to be a bit better in this one. I think a big reason the Warriors went down is they just kept attacking the right-hand edge, which sure has been their stronger edge as of, you know, the last two seasons. And it's definitely a game plan. And I know as a player and as a halfback, you're told to just follow that game plan. But I think at some point when it's not working, you just have to take matters into your own hands and be like, okay, look, let's try something different. They kept attacking that right hand side, and the Dragons came up trumps every single time. They never really even looked like breaking. They came up so well. And I think, especially when it's getting to the second half, you're chasing points, and you need to go, okay, let's try something different. You've got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the left-hand side. You have a strike weapon there. You switch it up. You're not getting through on the right-hand side. Let's switch. Let's go to the left-hand side. You can still do very similar shapes and just see how it all goes. But, I think that was probably their biggest detriment this game. Johnson did score a try. Did he? I can't remember. Yes, he did score a try. He scored the opening try of this game for the Warriors. So, it wasn't an awful game, but there were a few errors. He did come up with the drop ball, which led to Tyrell Sloan racing the length of the field. And just as I said, that game management stuff just continuing to go away, which had proved it wasn't going to work. It's tough to watch as a fan, and I know a lot of other Warriors fans were quite upset at that. In the end, they did score with Dallin Watene-Zelezniak on that side as well. So it worked at the beginning and it worked at the end, but not nearly enough for them to score points. But I think the biggest detriment to their game was they just couldn't defend the Dragons. But I think a lot of that will come down to just how good the Dragons were, which we'll get to. But as I said, in terms of their forward pack standing up, well, as I said, the middle forward standing up, Adam Fanua-Blake, he made the team of the week, and I'm going to read you the numbers as to why. He ended up playing 69 minutes, and I loved it because he came off for a short break, and the Warriors were just losing that middle, and straight away he just came back on. They're like, shit, we just need him out there. 26 runs from Adam Fanua-Blake, 255 metres, 108 post-contact metres, 6 tackle breaks, just incredible stuff. Mental numbers from AFB. It's such a shame that they couldn't work off the back of his efforts and even Mitch Barnett's efforts. He's been really good this season. Another 118 metres from him and 168 from Tohu, who probably defended his dick off. 48 tackles from Tohu, 30 from Barnett, 23 tackles and 0 missed from Adam Fanua-Blake. But yeah, they were quite let down. I think, let's look at these second rowers here, by the way. Jackson Ford, 32 metres from 3 runs in his 59 minutes of game time, and 5 runs from Kurt Capewell for 25 metres in his 80 minutes of game time. It's just not good enough, in my opinion. Look, Kurt Capewell, I think I've been a bit let down by him as a signing since coming to the Warriors. In his off-ball metrics, he's fantastic. His kick chase, his pressure, his scramble defense, all those things he's really great at, and they're the things that we brought him to the club for, and I love what I'm seeing from him in those aspects, but he's just not providing that threat. Marata Niokore ran that line incredibly well last season, and Johnson put him over for a few tries. I'm not once seeing Kurt Capewell look like he's going to score a try off a short ball by running hard, which is just unfortunate to see. But Jackson Ford is the one I am more disappointed with. I think he's just too inconsistent. I really love Jackson Ford as a player, and the thing, I'm a Warriors fan. I back all of our players, and I back Webby's selections 100%, and I love all of them, and I don't want to lose Jackson Ford. I think he's a gun, but he just needs to work on that consistency. I think maybe a stint in reserve grade is a bit of a wake-up call, could be what he needs, maybe just for 1 or 2 games, but also it gives Jacob Laban a shot. And we know Laban is an absolute freak. If Laban kills it, then he can hold on to it. But if he doesn't, it's just a wake-up call that Jackson Ford needs. He doesn't want to give up that shot. He doesn't want to give up that spot and give Laban a run, because he knows if Laban gets an extended shot, he could just take it and hold on to it. So maybe just a 1 or 2 week thing, and if Laban kills it, you keep him. If not, bring Ford back. But yeah, I think maybe Ford as a stint in reserve grade could be the one. I doubt Webby will. I think Webby trusts all his players to get themselves out of this. But yeah, just not enough from the second rowers in this one. Let's look at some of the shining lights. So Chance Nickel-Klukstad, once again, incredible stuff. 27 runs, 258 metres, 94 post contact, 5 tackle breaks. What can you ask for? He does it each and every week, and it's so good to see that the Roger the fullback claims have been silenced. Roger, I thought he was good as well, 142 metres. He did come up with that quite a silly error when we did the short dropout. Again, technically an error from Sean Johnson, but then Roger just grabbed the ball. If it doesn't go 10, they get the opposing team just gets to pick the ball up and do a scrum or whatnot. But if you play at the ball and it doesn't go 10, then it's a penalty. So that was quite stupid from Roger. But beyond that, I thought he tried as well. He really did just try to get them back in this. But look, honestly, not too much of note for the Warriors. Wade Egan, he was pretty good. But yeah, just a pretty poor game all round from them. Let's move into the Dragons, where we've got a lot more to say, because they were incredible. As I said, their defence in general, that right-hand side defence, their left-hand side defence, defending the Warriors' right-hand side was just fantastic. So that's your Moses Sully, Christian Tuipulotu, that side. Tuipulotu was fantastic under the high ball as well. Didn't get through as much work as I thought he would. I'd normally expect Tuipulotu to run for like 160 metres. He's that sort of player, but really safe, which is what you need. As I said, the standout, Zach Lomax, just doing mental stuff. 21 runs again, even from centre. So he hasn't shirked that workload despite changing his role, which is fantastic, because that's what we wanted to see. If he wants to be a centre, this is the sort of stuff that he's going to have to keep on doing, in my opinion. But yeah, scored a try, had the line break assist, few tackle breaks, 184 metres, just mental stuff. And of course, had a few conversions in there. Moses Sully scored a try, and as we said, defended so well. Michaeli Ravalawa was great. Tyrell Sloan scored a 100-metre bloody try. He's so fast, isn't he? Look, there's so much about this Dragons performance to really like, and I don't want to go through each and every player, but let's spend a little time on them. Ben Hunt made our team of the week, and look, there was no question as to why. He scored himself a try. He had, 3 try assists? Yeah, 3 try assists, 2 line break assists, 1 line break, kicked for 600 metres probably. Yeah, 624 metres. He was just, oh, God, it was mental. One of the best performances, one of the best halfback performances we've seen this year, to be honest. Again, and the metrics of it, they're doing this against a team that many tip they had no chance of doing it against. Like I thought the Warriors would blow them away. Not the case. A lot of it was off the back of Ben Hunt, so you got to shout that out. I thought their forward pack was really good defensively, as I said. None of them really stood out statistically, except, of course, Jack DeBellin, once again off the bench. 59 minutes he played, 19 runs, 147 metres. Made a tackle break. There you go, Jack DeBellin. But yeah, really good stuff from him. I just thought that their bench impact was really good in general. Like when Blake Laurie was on the field, when Ben Murdoch-Masila was on the field, he only played 13 minutes, Murdoch-Masila, but every run he made was so powerful and he was making so many post-contact meters. Sorry, he's struggling a bit there. Yeah, I thought their bench impact was incredible, which I think is something that the Warriors are lacking a bit at the moment as well. You know, they are missing Bunty Afoa, Dylan Walker, Jazz Tavanga. There's some big names there that they are quite integral to how they play their football, in particular Dylan Walker. But yeah, I think it was just evident that when these players came on for the Dragons, they just took it up another notch, and it's why the Warriors had to go straight back to their bench and realise, shit, we need bloody Adam Fanua Blake back out there, because this is struggle street. So I think it's something, I talk a lot about benches in a lot of other teams and how they're so integral to how they play. Dragons bench very much in that same ballpark. They were incredible. Also shout out Farmanu Brown, who made his debut for the Dragons in this one. He was really good as well in his limited time on the field. But yeah, just their bench impact, incredible. And I think the Warriors, they're definitely going to have to find some troops to do that soon, because they're not getting enough out of their bench at the moment. Hopefully their troops aren't too far away. But beyond that, yeah, the Dragons, just incredible, to be honest. I mean, there's not much more you can say. Across the park, they were so resilient in defense. Like, to stop this Warriors attack, which no team has really been able to do, and then to score 30 of your own. It's just, yeah, one of the best performances of the year, in my opinion, like complete performances from a team. So massive congratulations to the Dragons. Shout out you guys. But we'll move on to the next game. I do want to try and get through this just a bit quicker. So the next game, of course, being the Parramatta Eels and the Dolphins. The Dolphins winning this one 44-16. An incredible performance, a fantastic upset from the Dolphins, something I did not see coming. I thought they might have been able to win this game, and they might have been, you know, a decently close one, even if they didn't. But to win 44-16 in Parramatta, technically it wasn't a Parramatta home game. I'm pretty sure the game was in Darwin, to be fair. But yeah, just a fantastic performance from the Dolphins, which means we will start with everything we saw from the Eels. Look, to be honest, not a whole lot. They were really, really poor. I don't know where to begin talking about them, to be honest. There's just, yeah, I don't think there was any real players that were really good. I mean, I liked Will Penasini's efforts. I thought he was quite good. I liked his little matchup that he had with Tessie New. They were really fun to watch. But beyond that, yeah, just... not a whole lot, to be honest. Not a whole lot. Yeah, I'm really struggling to think of too much here to get out of this one. Look, if you are the Eels, you definitely, this isn't a game that you write off. This isn't a, look, we just had one of those games and we move on to the next week. There's going to have to be, I think, extensive video work done and to look at this game and to look at every effort area and every individual player. This has to be almost like a crisis call for them and be like, boys, I want you to watch every second of this and I want you to feel it all again, because this is shit house. And yeah, as I said, I don't really know where they go from here. It's so weird. They're such a weird team to get a read on. Last week they're playing some really, really good footy in without Mitchell Moses. This week they go and do this, and it's just like, God. Yeah, I really don't know. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to spend not too long on this team. There's just not much to say. I think their forward pack really let them down. The only player who ran for over 100 metres in their entire forward pack was Junior Paolo. Everyone else is just, yeah, there's not a whole lot doing, to be honest. So, yeah, look, there's players of the game, like coaches and people of the game know a lot more than me. They're going to try and get the best out of this team, and they're going to hopefully get a response from them next week. And hopefully we do see it, because this was really sad, and I feel for the fans who had to put up with that. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys, not much I can really touch on for the Eels. For the Dolphins, however, there is a lot we can talk about. Actually, sorry, let's go back to the Eels. We mentioned Will Penasini. Let's just talk a little bit more about him. He scored that try, as I said, but he also ran the ball 15 times for 160 metres. He's just really coming into his own in the NRL nowadays. He's very consistent. He rarely has a bad game at all. Definitely not puts right up in the top tier of our strike and best centers in the game, but I honestly don't think he's too far off. I think he's such an underrated player. So yeah, as I said, scored the try, 15 runs, 160 metres, line break assist, 5 tackle breaks. Just really good stuff from Will Penasini. So massive shout out him. Bailey Simonson was all right as well. He ran a lot, didn't miss a tackle, and yeah, just worked his butt off. Sean Russell was fine, but I think the forward pack was the main thing that let them down in this one. I can't even put it down to the halves, who I don't think the halves had really good games. Dylan Brown did score a try late in the game, which was all good and well. But yeah, I think if you go and watch Dylan Brown's press conference afterwards, just the interview afterwards, it sums up everything that I've got to say. So go check that one, and it saves me some words here. But yeah, it was really, really disappointing. Let's get back into the Dolphins here. Let's start with Trey Fuller, the man that they've brought in to replace the Hammer. Fantastic game. He was so close to my team of the week fullback. I thought he was superb, and I love him in this team. I'm so glad he's getting his shot. I think he's 26 or something, 27 maybe, Trey Fuller. He's gone the hard way to get here. He was pretty sure he's not even in their top 30, and they had to get an exemption to bring him in, which is, honestly, just give the man a contract. He's a fantastic player, and he was so good in this one. Scored a try, 15 runs, 191 run meters, 1 line break assist, 1 try assist, 7 tackle breaks. Just incredible stuff from Trey Fuller. We obviously spoke quite highly of him in the preview, and yeah, he did not make me eat my words, so really good stuff. Really love seeing that, to be honest. Jack Bostock, as we mentioned, fantastic game from him. Scored the hat-trick, which is all good and well. We know he can score tries. 17 runs, 165 metres, so he's getting through his work, which you want in a big body. 4 line breaks from him, 1 try assist as well. And where's his defensive efforts? There you go, 6 tackles and only 1 missed. I thought he was a lot better defensively. Did he make any errors? I don't recall him making any errors, but maybe I was just too caught up in how good. He did end up making 1 error, but we can live with 1 error. Regardless, Jack Bostock thought he was exceptional. Definitely, without a doubt, the best winger of the round this week, so shout out him. And yeah, really good to see him not so much make me eat my own words. I do believe there's a fantastic player in Jack Bostock, and I'm really happy he's in this side. I think, he can evolve into a fantastic winger, and I love the fact that he's someone who's debuted with the Dolphins, so he can just, continue to work with them. But sometimes I am quite critical of him, and I'm happy to just see him come out and make me look stupid. So shout out Jack Bostock. Isaiah Katoa, the man that we had on our bench. God, he's playing some incredible footy. We had a message about him not too long ago. It might have been a comment regardless. Shout out you. I can't remember who said it, but if you're listening to this one, you know who you are. That mentioned the footy that Isaiah Katoa is playing, and they're darn right. He is playing as good as any halfback in the NRL right now, and I don't think that's an understatement saying that. And he's 19, 20 maybe he is now. Let's find out exactly how old Isaiah Katoa is. Isaiah Katoa, he's 20. He turned 20 in February. Born in 2004. Isn't that wild? And he's leading a new franchise around in the halfback jersey as a 20-year-old, and he's beating the Eels 44-16 as the halfback. Can we just take a moment to understand how mental that is? And he deserves so much more raps. It's, ridiculous what he's doing. But also, beyond that, let's look at the stats. 17 runs, 114 metres from halfback, 4 line break assists, 3 try assists. What is doing? And his kicking game is absolutely insane as well. I never thought he was going to be a halfback. I thought he was a 5'8" for sure, but this is, he's a halfback out and out. So 477 kick meters as well. Just, what can you say, really? What can you say? It's a massive shout out Isaiah Katoa. JMK, the other man to make the team of the week, another fantastic performance from him. Really, just we know his best suit about his game at hooker is his running game, and he was on show in this one. He had the line break assist where he took a dart down the short side, got the offload away to Josh Kerr, I think it was, who then found Trey Fuller, and then they scored. That's all off the back of Jeremy Marshall-King's efforts. He had another line break. He was just, he was fantastic. Jeremy Marshall-King, definitely the hooker in our team of the week. 71 minutes, 76 meters in 7 runs, one line break assist, 1 try assist, and 33 tackles with 0 miss. So massive game from Jeremy Marshall-King. I thought Ray Stone was really good off the bench. I really like Josh Kerr off the bench. Look, there's a lot to like from this Dolphins performance, and there's a lot to like as them as a team leading into the rest of this season. They could definitely be a team that's a smoky to make the 8, which I didn't think they had any chance of doing. What I'm seeing from them now is just ridiculous. And they're doing this, keep in mind, they've done this without Tom Flegler, Herbie Farnworth, and who's the other player that they're missing? Tom Gilbert. Isn't that just mental? That's their big players. They're 3 of their best players in their team. All of them are gone, and they'd come up with this. It cannot be understated how good they are playing. So massive congratulations to the Dolphins, and shout out you guys. But we will move on to the next game of the round, which is the Penrith Panthers defeating the West Tigers 22-6. Now, very interesting one. I thought the Tigers, they did really well. They hung into this game almost until the very end. I mean, they didn't really look like scoring points, but they kept at it. They kept trying, and they defended really, really well. So I want to give a massive shout out to the Tigers. The result didn't go your way, but this is the 3-time premiers, and your 2-time wooden spooners up against the 3-time premiers, and you're only losing 22-6. And the last try coming from an incredible James Fisher-Harris individual effort. So, yeah, you can look at it a few ways. There's definitely some improvement to be had in the Tigers, in their attack and whatnot. But I thought they were very staunch in defence, and they just, that you could tell that they're just playing with such a pride that I haven't seen Tigers players have in a long, long time. So massive shout out to them. In terms of their standout individual performers, I thought John Bateman was really good. Now, he was stuffed around a bit in that he started the game at second row, and then he was moved to center and blah, blah, blah. But I thought he was really, really good, which is great. A lot of people have been quite disappointed in his performances this season. Obviously missed last week as well. So to come back into the side and do what he did was really good to see. He had 17 runs, 157 meters, 1 line break assist, 1 try assist, 6 tackle breaks, and 23 tackles. Just, fantastic performance from John Bateman. This is the sort of footy that we want to see from him. This is the Raiders footy. This is everything that we signed him for when he was a kid playing in England. So massive stuff from John Bateman. He was sensational, and his defense in general thought was really, really good as well. Beyond that, I thought Jareem Buller once again tried his heart out. He's looking more and more dangerous. 25 runs, 224 meters he made, 1 line break assist. Just, he's getting more involved in the game, which is something last year, he was fantastic. Obviously, he broke out in a big way last year. But for me, he was just sort of someone who lurked around and just waited for the game to come to him. And then when he was injected, he was exceptional. This year's season, he's going looking for it, and that's really scary to think about because he's going to be a fantastic player. He's still so young. So, really liked what I saw from Jareem Buller. Beyond that, I thought Junior Tupou was really good early. Obviously, only played 37 minutes, came off with an injury. Could be out for a little while as well, Junior Tupou, which is really sad to see. But he scored their only try of this game, and even beyond that was just looking really, really threatening. So shame to see him out. In his 37 minutes, he still had 8 runs for 103 meters, which is, it's a bit wild to think about. I also thought Brent Naden was quite good in this one, which is really good to see. He's come back into the side for Solomon Fatape. Didn't know if we were going to see too much more of Brent Naden in the NRL, but this performance here, certainly it should keep him in the side, in my opinion. Obviously, they didn't get the win, and he didn't come up with any exceptional attacking stats, but I thought he defended quite well. He had 18 runs for 167 meters, 66 post-contact, 3 tackle breaks, and just held his own really, really well. So massive shout out to Brent Naden against his former club nonetheless. Lachlan Galvin didn't quite hit the heights of the earlier rounds, but again, you're up against Penrith. Maybe that's not going to happen. I think it was a good test, and I think, again, he held his own. So he's showing some incredible stuff and incredible growing signs. Beyond that, for the Tigers, not too much to note, really. It's weird what we're seeing from Stefano at the moment. He has one game where he's the best front row in the league, and then the next, it's quite inconsistent, and I think we need to see a little bit more from Stefano. But again, maybe it's just the Panthers who are known from just stopping every forward. You know, think about what the Panthers were able to do to Payne Haas and Fanua Blake in the finals. Like, yeah, maybe it's not a Stefano issue. Maybe it's just what the Penrith Panthers do. But beyond that, I also thought Samuela Fainu was fantastic off the bench. And once again, spirited performance from the Tigers. I'm sure Tigers fans, you know, based on everything that they've gone through the last few seasons, I'm sure they hold their head high after this one. So good stuff for them. For the Panthers, I mean, what can you say, really? They manage to get the job done all the time, and they do it in every which way possible. Dylan Edwards, once again, just incredible stuff from the back again. As their goal kicker nowadays, he's doing it all. 25 runs, 207 metres, 1 line break assist, 1 try assist, 10 tackle breaks, Dylan Edwards. Yeah, what can you say, really? He's... look, off the top of my head, is there a fullback this season who's playing better footy than Dylan Edwards? I don't think there is. I genuinely think this season, and just this season alone, I think Dylan Edwards has been the best fullback in the NRL. But it's a hotly contested field. A lot of great players in that position. But yeah, Dylan Edwards, incredible stuff. Sonia Taruva scored a double, doing what he does. Brian To'o, once again, just, doing what he does. 21 runs, 229 metres. I mean, what can you say? 8 tackle breaks from To'o. Jesus Christ. What can you say about him? It is just stock standard stuff nowadays, and the fact that it is just so glossed over, it's just mental to think about. But he's the best. He really is. James Fisher-Harris obviously made our team of the week. 14 runs, 138 metres, and of course had the line break and try from that incredible individual effort. Just beat about half the Tiger, maybe not half, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but beat a fair few players just spinning, dodging, bumping, just, really good stuff. It's really good to see that after the news that's broke out. This is the first game since, the news of him wanting to go to the Warriors next season. Yeah, it's good to see that he's come out and he's not shirked any of that, and he doesn't look like he wants to just leave right now. He's going to come out, which we didn't. We expected him to just come out and play his footy as he always does. James Fisher-Harris, such a professional, and fantastic game from him. I thought Liam Martin was so good. He runs the ball so hard, and, in defence, he hits harder than everyone. He's just one of those guys. Didn't play the full 80 in this one. Only played 54 minutes, did Liam Martin, but I thought he was very, very damaging in those. Isaiah Yeo, just typical what he does every week. 18 runs, 159 metres, and 2 offloads, and how many tackles? Come on, Isaiah. 47 tackles, 1 missed. It's just mental stuff. But, what can you say? Panthers, they get the job done. Not their best efforts, sure, but they win, and they win well. Their defense was exceptional in this one. So, just a really good game for them. Meaning we will move on to the next game of the round, moving into our Saturday games now. We're halfway through. We are halfway through. Hell yeah. So we get up to the Titans and the Seagulls. Titans going down 34-30 to the Seagulls in this one. So very upsetting for them. But again, they put up a really good fight. There's something there that it wasn't there in the first few rounds. These last 2 weeks have actually shown a bit of something, a bit of fight. Defense, definitely an issue. But hey, as long as they can put points on there, and if they can get wins, maybe they can work on defense a bit later. In saying that, though, I did think they had an atrocious start to the game. It was essentially what we've seen from the opening few weeks, and it is a bit of a shame because after that game, they were a lot better. Yeah, they still leaked points, but if they actually played the full game the way that they did, and it wasn't for that opening part of the game, I think they could have got away with it. I thought in terms of standouts, Brian Kelly had a fantastic game. Now, I've written down a bit of a passage here just so I didn't forget it. So I'm essentially just going to read that from my notes here. But I said Brian Kelly did well to shrug off his early defensive misread, which led to Manly's first try, and then he followed it up with multiple massive plays. He had 2 fantastic runs to get the Titans out of their half and out of pressure, which ultimately provided the field position for them to score their first try. And then he had the line break and try assist to AKP for their second, and then the massive defensive effort to smash Saab and dislodge the ball on the Seagulls try line, which gave the Titans possession for David Fafita to crash over in the next set. So I can't speak. I don't know why I do podcasts when I cannot speak. But yeah, if you actually deciphered what I sort of got out of that jumble, then yeah, Brian Kelly, really good game, mate. Thought he was exceptional. Essentially, wrapping that into a little sentence here, he had 4 plays that directly resulted in points for the Titans. So I think it was all on the back of him, those 4 plays, in my opinion. So I thought Brian Kelly was very, very good. He was actually quite close to getting into my centres for the team of the week this week, but I couldn't justify it in the game that they lost, and because of that early just defensive misread, which led to the Tom Trbojevic try. But I thought he was good to shrug that off, as I said. AJ Brimson back at fullback. How good. The kick from, the banana kick from Kieran Foran, that's JT and Matty Bowen stuff. How good. Just bang on the inside, and then AJ flying through, takes it out of Turbo's grasp. It's some of the best footy you can see, to be honest. I love that. So massive stuff. AJ Brimson in fullback is just, it's where he belongs, and it sucks because I think Jaden Campbell's been bloody good there, but I don't know what you do when you're with the Titans. It's almost too much of a headache to have both those players. Kieran Foran, thought he was really, really good. Jamin Jolliffe, thought he worked his backside off, as he always does, and he was very staunch in defence once again. It's interesting because he's playing so much better footy than Fodawaker at the moment, and Fodawaker we know is a gun, so I don't know. It's cool because Jamin Jolliffe, you're never going to pay so much money for Jamin, but what you get out of him is fantastic. He played 64 minutes. He had 137 metres. He had 3 tackle breaks, Jamin Jolliffe. Shout out him, and he made 33 tackles and did not miss one. So massive, massive effort from Jolliffe. Beyond that, I thought Isaac Liu had some moments. Let's go back to Kieran Foran and just touch on that. He did have 3 try assists and 2 line break assists in this one. He did come up with the error, which, we don't really need to speak about. But, yeah, thought he was good. Another one I want to give a massive shout out to, Tanner Boyd. He was the late call-up into this one. Of course, Philip Sami was a withdrawal, wasn't actually, back from his injury just quite yet, so that moved Brimson to fullback, Tanner Boyd back into the halves. Tanner Boyd, what a an answer from him, to be honest. He scored a try, 5 from 5 from the boot, 102 meters. Just, did he have an error? I don't recall him having an error. He had one error, but 514 kick meters. It was just really, really good stuff from Tanner Boyd. I love the response from him. And again, this is what we judge players on, is their response to poor games. Not exactly the poor game, but how you respond to that. And I thought Tanner responded so well. So yeah, shame for the Titans, but I did think that they had a few good moments in there, and there were a lot of individual players that actually did stand up. So hopefully they can start putting it together a bit more, and they can work towards something, and hopefully get a win in the next few games. They got the Warriors next week in New Zealand, I think. Let me just double check that. Yeah, so very tough game from next week. But if they could manage to get that, then holy shit, that puts them in such good stead, and that gives them great confidence. So hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully they can get that done because I'm a Warriors fan, but hopefully they can play well and lose. Sorry, Titans. You're still not my number one team. For the Seagulls, look, they got it done, but I don't think anyone would be really happy with their performance, from within their ranks. I think Daly Cherry Evans put it pretty bluntly in the interview after that. Yeah, there's just not too much to be happy about. Just lapses in defense, lapses in concentration. Just, yeah, I don't know what you really say as the Seagulls. You got the win, which is, one thing. You have to be able to win ugly in the NRL to be a best team, which they did so in this one, 34-30. They did also come with some dubious calls. I thought the refereeing was overall pretty good, but that Tom Trbojevic second try, it should not have been a try in any metric. If it wasn't for the obstructions on the inside, it should have been for the 6-meter bloody forward pass. That I know a video ref can't rule on forward passes, but how that was missed live is beyond me. Look, I don't want to say they got lucky. Again, I did think they were the better side, but if that try is taken away and the Titans weren't just abysmal in the first 15 minutes or so, then first 10 minutes, I should say, for the Titans, then yeah, it's quite worrying for the Seagulls. But in the end, you can't go ifs, buts, or maybes. They got the result, and you move on from that. In terms of standouts for them, Tom Trbojevic scored a double. I didn't think he's been, I don't know, I was going to say he's been quiet. He hasn't been quiet. If any other fullback is doing what he's doing right now, they're praise to the Lord. But we know Tom Trbojevic on his day is the best player in the NRL. He still scored 2 tries, had 20 runs, 196 metres, 2 line breaks, 5 tackle breaks. You can't say he was poor, because he was not. He has been playing some really, really good footy. I don't know. Maybe he's just set the bar so high that this is just standard. Regardless, really good game from Trbojevic. Saab was good in his return, 160 metres, which is the sort of stuff I want to see from Saab. He's one of the tallest players in our competition. He's one of the fastest. Just get some work done out of your own end, which is what I want to see. Tolutau Kula was good. He had that intercept try. Good to see him in open space. That's always fun. Luke Brooks, he was all right. He came up with a try assist and then sort of was very quiet for the rest of the game. Daly Cherry Evans, I thought, was quite off his game in this one, which is probably a big reason that they succumbed to this much point. I mean, no, if you're succumbing to 30 points from the Titans, there's a lot of other issues. But I didn't think Daly had his best game. Taniela Paseka was quite good up the middle, in fairness. 57 minutes he's punching out now. 17 runs, 179 metres, 93 post-contact. So massive game from Paseka. Thought Matt Lodge was good in his return. It was interesting how the Seagulls used him, though. They used him in 3 separate stints. His first stint, then they subbed him off, then they brought him back on for the rest of the first half, then they subbed him off, and they brought him back on in the second half, and I think maybe they subbed him off again. So a lot of interchanges used for Matt Lodge, but he was good in his first game back from an ACL injury, so massive shout-out there. Beyond that, look, not too much for the Seagulls. Look, it's a hard one. They got the win, but there's more to take away from the Titans' performance than there is the Seagulls' performance. But hey, Seagulls fans, just be happy you got the win and you move on to next week. But that'll wrap us up for that one. Meaning we move into the next Saturday game, which was the Brisbane Broncos defeating the Canberra Raiders 34-10. Emphatic win from the Broncos in this one. A real statement for them on the NRL. They've been getting wins, playing ugly, playing pretty. What matters is they have been winning games and they have been playing well in the games that they have lost. Again, still down on troops, but to beat a Canberra team that have been playing some pretty darn good footy and to beat them convincingly 34-10 is really good signs for the Broncos. Look, they are probably the second best team in the NRL. They're still... for me, they're favourites to win the comp, in my opinion. I know Penrith have to be. Penrith are, the 3-time defending champs and whatnot. But what I'm seeing from the Broncos, I think it's flying a bit under the radar. Everybody's so high on the Warriors. And obviously, I am as a Warriors fan, and I love that people are getting around them. But the Broncos, honestly, I think they're a substantial margin ahead of us, and I still think the Panthers are as well. So for them to just be flying under the radar, doing this down on troops is just really good. And such a statement victory from them again in this one. In terms of their standouts, well, as I said, Reece Walsh, he made the team of the week. Just incredible stuff again. He was goal kicking, so always helps as well. But had the 2 tries, 199 run meters, 16 runs. It's Reece Walsh doing Reece Walsh things. 3 line breaks, 6 tackle breaks. He's so electric. I say it every time, every review. It's just he's going to be the face of our game, and he could go down as one of the best ever if he keeps doing this stuff. It's just ridiculous his status in our game right now. So yeah, I mean, you can't really speak too much on him. I don't want to say the exact same things every week, but Reece Walsh, he's insane. I don't know what to say. He's so good, man. Beyond that, Corey Oates, really improved game from Corey Oates, and I love that for him. I thought he should have been in this side from round 1, but Dean Mariner came in, had been playing some pretty good footy. Corey Oates, he made up for last week's performance with, the week before technically, but round 6's performance where he had all those errors. He was really safe in this one and really just consistent out of his own end. Really liked what I saw from Corey Oates. Selwyn Cobbo was good. Jesse Arthurs had some really good moments, particularly in defense. So massive shout out Jesse Arthurs. Ezra Mam made the team of the week and just, playing some really good footy. A lot of people based on his performance in the grand final, we're like, oh, I mean, he's going to be insane. And he's been, I wouldn't say he's had a slow start, but maybe just not to what people thought he would be doing based on his grand final performance. But also, again, this is a Brisbane team down on troops. He's doing this without his number one halfback in Adam Reynolds, and he's still putting up stats like this. Here we are. We have 1 try from him, 86 metres, 3 line break assists, 3 try assists. Just like, what? Like, what? I know what you say. He's doing some freakish things, says Ramam, so massive shout out to him. Beyond that, I thought Fletcher Baker had some really good moments. Now, Fletcher's been a really weird one. He's been quiet. He has a really good game, and then he follows it up with 2 really poor games. And this one, it wasn't so much his just forward, like, prop forward efforts of just trucking it up and offloading and tackling well. He had some really good moments. He had that clean-up ball where he put the step on, found the player. Like, that was really cool. He had another moment which I am struggling to remember. Was it the catch off the kick maybe, and then pass to a player to score? Oh, I'm struggling to remember it now. But I thought, yeah, he had some really good highlight reel moments in this game, which is good for him. But obviously, Kev is seeing enough in Fletcher to keep justifying his pick, and the Warriors and the Broncos are winning games off the back of it. So, yeah, good game from him. A good response to his last couple. Jordan Ricky obviously made the team of the week for us as well. Really good game. His defensive efforts in particular, the last few seasons, but this season especially, have been like the hallmark of his game. A player that we originally thought was going to come in and be like a bit of a superstar, a bit of a highlights reel player in the mold of David Fafita. He's gone the complete opposite way, and he's gone, I'm going to be a consistent first grader. I'm just going to tackle well, defend well, make my runs, decisively. And he's doing just that, but he also picked up a nice little try in this one. But yeah, also his kick chase pressure. Love what I see from Jordan Ricky. For him to sort of replace those efforts, those facets of Kurt Capewell's game, I didn't think it was something Jordan Ricky was going to be the player to do, but he's done that and then some. So massive shout out Jordan Ricky. Patrick Carrigan, once again, just mental stuff. Only 65 minutes in this game, and he still chalked up 201 metres from 19 carries, 67 post contact, 5 tackle breaks, 1 offload, and 37 tackles and 0 missed. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? He's just insane. Off the bench, I thought all of their bench players played well, in particular Xavier Willison. I think there's no way he gets dropped from the side for the season, barring injury. He's insane. It's crazy to think about with this Broncos side that they've just got some juniors coming through that are insane, like Xavier Willison, Ben Takura are 2 of the biggest names in the forward market, and they're both at the Broncos. They've still got the experience and leadership of Martin Tapau, who I think if you bring into this side, he's going to do a really good job at any time he's in the side. But yeah, it's just mental to think that right now they're doing this stuff without Payne Haas, and then they've got, Willison, Takura. It's just mental. But Willison, on him, 13 runs, 144 metres, 67 post contact, all in 45 minutes as well. So massive shout to Xavier Willison. But yeah, the Broncos, look, what can you say? They're a premiership heavyweight. Again, they're doing all this without their best forward, one of the best players in the game, in my opinion. I'd consider Payne Haas a top 5 player in the NRL, at least top 10, but I'd probably go as far to say top 5. And they're doing it without him, and they're doing it without their superstar halfback in Adam Reynolds as well. So what can you say? Massive, massive stuff for the Broncos. Every fan has got to be happy with that, and I thought every fan is just going to be waiting. They're chalking the wins through. They're just getting their wins, and then when their stars are back, I think they're going to go on a mental run. So it's going to be very scary for the rest of the league when they do. For the Raiders, look, definitely not their best game. They've been playing some good footy. They've been playing some poor footy here and there as well. But yeah, this one just a tough old night at the back. Chevy Stewart, poor kid, was absolutely tortured at the back in this one by the high balls and just everything. But what I love about Chevy Stewart is he shrugs it off. He never looks flustered by it all. It's tough. You're going to have these games, especially as a young rookie coming in against the grand final team of last year. It's going to humble you. Not that I think Chevy's a really egotistical guy from what I've seen. What I love about him is just he took every error, he took everything in stride, and he just got on with it. He returned the ball hard, he got smashed, and he just got up. I love what I'm seeing from Chevy Stewart. I think he's going to be all the better for this, to be honest. For this to happen, it's just a massive learning curve, a massive growing part of your game, and I think it's probably the best thing that could have happened to Chevy Stewart. And next week, I reckon he's going to come out and absolutely kill it. So, yeah, tough night at the office for Chevy, but he'll be better for it. And I still think you've got an incredible player on your hands, dude, the Raiders. So, good stuff from him. Beyond that, look, their back five really did try their hearts out. Schiller, 183 meters. Timoko, 205 from 15 carries, which is mental. Chris, 163. Xavier Savage, 113. They all tried. They just couldn't get many points on the board in this one. And, it hurts when Jamal Fogarty, a player who, again, I've considered one of the form players of the competition, he went down injured in this one, only played 41 minutes. So you're doing it quite tough. I think Strange moved to halfback and they played Simi Sasangi at 5'8", and it was just a bit of a shit show. And, Simi Sasangi played a great game. He ended up playing the 80. He scored a try as well, so massive shout out to Sasangi. But Ethan Strange, he's not ready. I don't think he'll ever be a halfback. The best parts of Ethan Strange's game is how he plays at 5'8", his running game, his eyes up footy. You don't want him to be into that role where he has to kick all the time. So, it's tough. You not only lose your halfback, but you lose one of the form players in the competition. And when you do that, you're then losing the best parts of Ethan Strange's game. So it was a tough night, and, a lot of it's off the back of that. But the Broncos, they were dominant even before that. Leading into halftime, they actually had 5 of their tries before Fogarty left the field. So you can't put it all onto the Fogarty injury. I'm just saying for the weeks coming that it's just going to be an interesting thing for the Raiders and how they handle that. I think it's going to be tough for them. Hopefully we see the debut of my boy Mitch Henderson. I think Adam Cook will be the next man up for the Raiders, but Mitch has been doing some really good things as well. I am hearing rumours that they're going to go with KO Weeks at 5'8" and Strange at halfback, and I absolutely hate that idea. Look, I think you have to go with Adam Cook if you want a halfback, or you go with Mitch Henderson. And I'm hoping it's Mitch, but I think with what Adam Cook's been playing some really, really good footy for the Raiders in the New South Wales Cup, so I'd assume he is next man up. But hopefully Mitch isn't too far away, because I think when he gets his shot, he's going to grab it with both hands. So, yeah, hopefully we can see the debut of Mitch Henderson sooner rather than later. But, yeah, for the Raiders, look, not too much to touch on, unfortunately. I thought, Joseph Tarpany was really, really good once again, coming off his 300-metre game last week. He had 19 runs, 178 metres, 73 post-contact. He was just trying his heart out. And Simi Sasangi, I thought, was really, really good, as I said. But yeah, not too much for the Raiders, unfortunately. Tough old day at the office, but you're going to get them. It's going to be how they respond from this and how they go moving forward without Jamal at the halfback role to see how they go. Sorry, I couldn't touch on more of their game, to be honest. But look, we're trying to run through this a bit quicker. And as I said, they got trounced, unfortunately. So, yeah, we'll just leave that one there, which means we go into our Sunday games to wrap us up. We've got 2 games left. First of all, the Bulldogs defeating the Knights 36-12. Massive, massive win for the Bulldogs in this one. Yeah, what can you say, really? They were incredible. They really were. They're playing such a fantastic just brand of football. The way that they're playing is something I didn't think they were capable of, and it's definitely something I didn't think they were capable of with their forward pack. But God, their forward pack is standing up. I know this Knights one hasn't been overly impressive this season, and I get up them a lot, I suppose, but they stood up and they just absolutely just, yeah, I don't know, they swamped them all game, and they've been doing that. They have been doing that, the Bulldogs. So yeah, just really, really good footy all around from them. In terms of some standouts, look, we'll start with the Knights because, as I said, they were the losers in this one. I thought Jaden Brayley was fantastic for them. Just a lot of good darts from dummy half. He ended up playing the full 80, so he's back to that 80-minute sort of role, which is where I think he's going to be needed for the Knights. This is exactly what they want from him. And yeah, he was fantastic. Really good, decisive runs out of dummy half and still made 43 tackles as well. Yeah, really good stuff from him. He's doing this without too much of a platform from his front rowers as well. Like, oh my God, I didn't realize this was the case. 2 players in the entire Knights team ran for over 100 metres. The entire team, not just the forward pack, no forwards ran for 100 metres, but only 2 players ran for over 100 metres in general, which is Greg Marju, as we expect, with 148, and Bradman Best with 107. So we'll comment on that in a second, but Jaden Brayley to be doing what he did off the back of no momentum, it was really good stuff from Jaden Brayley, and I thought, yeah, he was fantastic. I thought Tyson Gamble had some good moments coming back into the team. Obviously, he was brought in as a late sort of replacement for Jack Cogger, and I thought he was good. I'm not sure what the reason for it was, whether it was just a matchup reason and they wanted him defending against Kickow instead of Cogger, whatnot. Regardless, I thought he was decent, but obviously, yeah, I don't know what the Knights do from here. I'm actually quite worried. Kalen Ponga did unfortunately go down injured in this one with a foot injury. It's looking like 8 to 12 weeks for him. I don't want to say it, but that could be the Knights' season, to be honest. That is terrible news. I think we'll get to see the debut of either David Armstrong or Fletcher Sharp. I'm hoping it'll be Fletcher Sharp because I'm massive fan of Fletcher. But it could be David. But if the trials are anything to go by, they were playing David Armstrong on the wing and Fletcher Sharp was their fullback. I haven't kept up with their New South Wales Cup too much to see if that is indeed the case. But I'll have a quick look at that one now. So the Knights, oh my God, that's right. They lost 52-6 in New South Wales Cup and 36-12 in NRL. So I don't know what you go to in terms of juniors, if that's what's going. Oh my God, Jarrell Skelton, 321 meters. Holy shit! Sorry, we've gone straight from NRL. Let's just read bloody New South Wales Cup stats. Liam Knight, 20 runs, 201 metres. Jarrell Skelton, 26 runs for 321 metres. Scored a try. What is going on? Holy Jesus. 194 from Jack Todd. 154 from Pawasa Farmasili, playing at lock for 50 minutes. Jesus. Okay, let's look at the Knights. Sorry, David Armstrong did play fullback in this one. Fletcher Sharp didn't play. I know Fletcher Sharp's eligible for Jersey flag, and I think even, how old is, well, we're going on a tangent here, but how old is Fletcher Sharp? I want to say he's 19, maybe 20? How old is Fletcher Sharp? He is 19, so he should be eligible for the other one. No, I've just looked through all of the competitions and Fletcher Sharp didn't play for the Knights in any of them, so maybe he's injured or something there. Potentially not going to be the man to replace KP. Look, it could be Will Price. I doubt it. I do think it'll probably be Armstrong or Sharp if he's not injured. They've locked Sharp down long term, so they see him as a promising future prospect, and I back them 100%. I love Fletcher Sharp. I think he's fantastic. It's going to be interesting what they do there. Regardless of who they pick, I think they're in for a tough time without KP because nobody can replace what KP brings to the side. But yeah, it's very worrying for the Knights. Their forward pack, once again, we spoke about it a lot. They're not standing up. None of them are. Kai Pearce-Paulie's doing his parts, I suppose. Dylan Lucas scored a try. He could have had 2. He could have had 3, to be honest. Dylan Lucas, he was close. But yeah, I don't know. It's really worrying signs for the Newcastle Knights at the moment. I mean, as a man who lives in Newcastle myself, I try and watch as many games as I can in person, and I interact with a lot of the fans and talk to them. Everyone I've seen from fan pages to in person, nobody's happy. So, which, I mean, fair enough. There's not a whole lot to be happy about, and this one is quite worrying now with KP out. So, going to be interesting to see where the Knights go from here. Not too many standouts for them, unfortunately. Just really, Jaden Brayley was the one man I thought was really, really good. So let's move to the Bulldogs and let's be a bit more happy, a bit more of a positive light, because I thought, as I said, they were excellent. Going from top to bottom, Connor Tracy, I love him so much. I think after this performance, he's wrapped up that fullback jersey, barring anything, catastrophic. he's so good. He's so good. I've always wanted him to just get consistent time in first grade, whether he's a winger, a centre, a 5'8", a fullback. He can just do anything. And here he is. He seems to have locked down this jersey, which is so good. 20 runs, 175 metres, 2 line break assists, 2 try assists. But again, the thing about Connor Tracy is just his efforts. He's always returning the ball at 100%, 100 Ks an hour right back into the defense, which is why he makes so many meters. And he's a small body and he keeps taking these runs. He's never fearful of the defense. And his effort areas, like to escape, he escaped the in goal twice, I think it was in this game, which was mental. He's just, I don't know. I love him, and I can go on about Connor Tracy for a long, long time. But I think anybody who watched this game really saw what he's all about. And I think he's wrapped up that fullback jersey, which is just awesome to see. Jacob Kira, as we mentioned, very close to getting into my team of the week. I think he made his way onto the bench, in fairness, but really close to making the starting side. He scored a try in this one. He technically didn't get a try assist, but he did the work for it. He made a break down the right-hand side, fired a ball back in, and then Blake Taft tipped it on to Stephen Crichton to score. So it would have been credited with a Blake Taft try assist, but a lot of Jacob Kiraz's work there. So he could have had a try and a try assist, 22 runs, 190 metres, 2 line breaks. He's where he belongs on the wing, unfortunately. You know, that whole experiment of putting him in the centres, I think that's over. It's tough for Blake Wilson, who I haven't heard too much about. I still hope he's recovering well from what he's dealing with. But even if when he's fit and healthy, I think Kiraz keeps that wing spot and they just do this for the rest of the season. I think this is the lineup that the Bulldogs should settle on. Obviously forwards to come back in and whatnot, but their backs and everything, this is what they should just stay with it and ride with that, because Kiraz on the wing is an absolute gun. Bronson Xerri scored his first try in Bulldogs colours, his first try in the NRL since his suspension back in 2019 maybe around then. I can't recall. It might have been 2020. Regardless, really good game from him again. He looks so settled into that centre role. As I said, we should just keep this back line for them now because it's so good. Bronson Xerri, he's a freak, and we knew that from back when he was a Sharky, and he said he doesn't look like he's wasted any time at all to get back into NRL physicality, NRL shape, and just be having impacts on the NRL at NRL level. The best, the top level, the top grade of rugby league in the world, and he's 3 games back in, and he's doing what he's doing now. So Bronson Xerri, fantastic. Scored a try, 18 runs, 148 metres as well. Stephen Crichton had his best game of the season for the Bulldogs. Scored a try, had a try assist, 13 runs, 131 metres, line break assist. Just really good stuff from Crichton. Josh Adokar doing Josh Adokar things. Matt Burton doing Matt Burton things. There's a lot to like about what the Bulldogs are doing. Look, I don't know if there's any negatives to say. I thought Reid Marnie was excellent, if not for the silly shit at the end of the game. He pisses me off so much, Reid Marnie. It's so grubby. And obviously, you guys probably would have seen the Jack Hetherington, Reid Marnie situation. Basically, they both got sent from the field. They got sent to the sin bin for just niggle. They had a bit of a clash there, and the refs were pulled the captains aside and said, if there's another incident, I'm sending them off. And then those two just kept going at it, and the refs nah, get off. I'm sick of your shit. And then Jack Hetherington and Reid Marnie clashed in the sheds, with Jack Hetherington throwing a bit of a jab. I don't know if it was jokingly or serious. I'm not quite sure, but it's just silly shit from both of those players. But Reid Marnie especially Stephen Crichton pulled them away and was like, everyone pull your fucking heads in. We've got the game. Let's not do silly shit and get suspended. And then Reid Marnie goes on with it. And it's just, that sort of shit just annoys me. And I know as a player, as a captain, that's the sort of shit I would just be furious at. So I'm hoping Cameron Serrato rips into him and says, get that shit out of your game, because that is ridiculous. You're going to get suspended. You're going to lose games for us by being suspended just because you want to chirp up and act tough. But beyond that, now that I've got that out of my system, he had a fantastic game. He was really, really good, Reid Marnie. So don't want to take any of that sort of stuff away from him. He was really, really good. He was very, very close to my team of the week. I thought, he was excellent. Sam Hughes, as I said, scored a try coming off the bench again, despite being named at front row. Chris Bartolo ended up going down injured quite early, and Sam Hughes came on and played a fair bit of time there. Max King, of course, coming back from the hand injury, he played really well, 15 runs, 130 metres. The big one for me, though, Josh Curran. He's been flying under the radar as a signing, not so much as a signing. He was a big signing when they got him, but with his coming off the bench and what he's been doing, everyone's sort of just forgotten about him. He's been incredible for the Bulldogs off the bench or starting. Played at lock here and was excellent. This is where he should stay. Only played 66 minutes. I thought he just should have stayed out there. Obviously, you don't need to risk him with how far you were ahead on the scoreboard, but he was so good. So, yeah, Josh Curran, 14 runs, 134 metres, 57 post-contact, 3 tackle breaks. And where's the tackling? 34 tackles. Just really good. Bailey Haywood, massive game from him off the interchange. He made his debut last week. He scored a try, his first NRL try. He played 55 minutes in this one, did Bailey Haywood, and he made 43 tackles. He did miss 6, which sure, but he's a second gamer. He's a halfback, essentially, playing at lock forward, making 43 tackles in the middle. Really good stuff. Awesome stuff, and congratulations to you, Bailey. I think you're going to settle in really well at this Bulldogs team. That's just like, obviously have so much faith in him as a player. So really good to see from that. Blake Taff, only 12 minutes. They said, Cameron Serrata basically said he's just going to be a super sub, or, you know, just cover for anything on the bench. He can play anywhere on the field in terms of the backs. And then if there are no injuries, he can come on and just inject himself and be a super sub. And he did just that with his little try assist in their little run to down the right-hand side, which ended up in that Stephen Crichton try. So really good. Honestly, as I said, everything about this Bulldogs performance is just fantastic. So massive shout out to them. But we will move on from that and we'll go into our last game of the round, which was the Sharkies defeating the Cowboys 42-6. Look, there were a lot of blowouts this week and a lot of times where I'm going to have to sit here and talk about, look, I don't know where you go from here. There's worrying signs. And that's the same being said for the Cowboys, unfortunately. 42-6. I don't know where you go from here. It's very worrying signs. Look, just rinse and repeat that. It's tough. They were absolutely trounced. They didn't look like they wanted to defend. There wasn't really too many efforts in their forward pack that were just, I don't know what to say, really. Their forward pack was the massive letdown here. Looking at them across the board, Jordan McLean ran for 101 metres and Jeremiah Nanai off the bench had 111, but he had some other errors in his game that, I guess deficiencies in his game that I wasn't the biggest fan of. I wasn't the biggest fan of how he defended. He had a silly error. I don't know what to say for the Cowboys. It's really interesting. Even Ruben Cotter, your fearless leader, 68 meters in 69 minutes. I know they didn't have too much possession of the ball, so you can't look into meters too much. But even when they did, their forward pack was really not firing a shot. Their backs, they still ran hard and worked well. All of their back 5, actually all of their back 6, all the way down to Tom Dearden, ran for over 100 metres, 147 for Drinky, 133 for Felt, 111 from Holmes, 120 from Chester, 167 from Valame, and 123 from Dearden. I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Cowboys. They're another team that's really hard to get a read on. They're like that Eels mold where they can be the best team in the comp and then they can go and lose like this. And it's like, Jesus Christ, where'd this come from? In fairness to the Cowboys, I guess they lost to an opponent who most are considering another, quite not so much a heavyweight, but definitely someone that can challenge for a premiership this year, while the Eels lost to a side that many people don't have in the 8. But we're talking about the Cowboys here. They're also tipped to be a better team than the Eels this year. And to lose like this, it's really disappointing. I'm not sure, I'm sure your fans are just, I'm sure you're in the same boat as me. I don't know where you go from here. I don't know what changes you make. I think you just need to rev into your troops and hope you get a response next week, because some days all of these players are playing some fantastic footy and then days like today, you don't get much out of them. Once again, the use of Jason Tamalolo is baffling me. 32 minutes in this game. He has had a lot of defensive deficiencies I've been noticing. Once again in this game too, he's just not been where he's at. But I think you need him out there, and I think you just need him running. There's no point in, and it's tough because obviously they're doing this to prolong his career, and they've got him for another X amount of years. Either look to trade him to someone like the Dragons who want him, or play him. If he's got a medical, if his knee's that bad or whatever it is, he can look to be medically retired. I don't think it's that bad. He obviously is still playing, and it's the coach's decision to do this. I'm sure Tamalolo has a bit of a say, but I don't know. From what I know about players, I don't care how injured you are. You want to be out there. Think of Josh Morris in Origin being told he done his ACL and running back on the field to tackle Greg Inglis. Also, just on that, there's a segment on that exact thing on NRL on 9. NRL on 9 on YouTube. They have a segment called Turn It Up, where it's Freddie and Brad Fittler, Andrew Johns, and Billy Slater that chat just talk footy, talk everything that they want, and they have a guest on every now and like all the time, every week. They had Josh Morris on 2 weeks ago, and they talked about that, and it's just awesome. Josh Morris, one of my favourite players in the NRL. Really just good insight about everything about Josh Morris, about anything. Like, these are some fantastic minds of our game. So if you're a footy fan and you haven't seen that stuff, go check it out. It's really good insight into just everything that these top players know about. But moving on from that, if you're Jason Tamalolo, I know whatever injury I've got, I want to be out there playing 100%. I've only ever had one injury from footy. I've done a grade 3 AC joint injury, which, if you're unfamiliar, that's your collarbone. I fractured my collarbone and also dislocated it. So it was a grade 3, which is pretty extensive. It's meant to be about a 6-week recovery for that. I was out 2 weeks, and then we strapped it, and I just started playing, because there's nothing worse than sitting on the sidelines and watching that. And I know as a NRL player, it's a bit different to country rugby league, where you just get out there and play, because NRL players, you actually, like, there's physios, you actually have to be cleared for coming back. But he's obviously cleared. He can play footy. He's out there playing footy. So why isn't he playing more minutes? I'd be furious. I'd be asking for a release so I could play footy. But I don't know the minds of Jason Tamalolo. I don't know the minds of Todd Payten. But it's just baffling to me at the moment. But he's not the reason that they lost this game. The Jason Tamalolo in general is not the reason they lost, and the rotation of him from Todd Payten is not the reason they lost. There was just no efforts from the rest of their team. Everyone across the field just didn't look like they wanted to be there. There was a lot of silly errors. Let's have a look at the errors department just while we're here. 4 errors from Scott Drinkwater, 1 from Holmes, 1 from Valamo, 1 from Townsend, 2 from McLean, 1 from Finafuiaki, 2 from Nanai. Yeah, there's the 2 errors from Nanai that I spoke of. 4 from Drinkwater is just awful as well. Yeah, look, I don't know what to say. I thought Tom Chester, I thought he was actually really good for the Cowboys. I really liked what I saw from him. Tom Dearden, he tried his heart out. Valame, he's good from the back. Beyond that, there's not much to speak of, unfortunately. And I'm sure you Cowboys fans feel the exact same way. Just Tom Chester was the only one that I was really like, look, he's the only one who can come off this field and go, look, I'm going to hold my head high. And I guess Tom Dearden as well. But, it's so weird seeing a team with Tom Dearden and Reuben Cotter lose 42-6, because you just expect teams with those 2 players, these massive just effort and grindy. Like, these are sort of players that you never expect to see losing games, especially not in this fashion, because they're so good. They're so effort. They're so effort area guys, so much effort area guys that it's like when games like this happen, when there's no effort, you're like, what the fuck's going wrong? But Cowboys, very tough loss. I don't know where they go from here either, but knowing them, they'll just bounce back next week and have an incredible game. Who have they got next week while we're here? They have got the Panthers next week. Cowboys at home, though, against the Panthers. Look, it's a massive opportunity for them to respond. If they can come up with a win, if they can come up with just a close, gritty, controlled performance, then, there's something there. Again, we judge people on how they respond to bad performances, so let's see how this team responds to this. But moving on to the Sharkies, look, they were excellent. They really were. Let's just give them a wrap. A lot of what we say about the Cowboys, it comes down to how clinical the Sharkies were. They threw a multitude of different shapes at the Cowboys. All of their back 5 were really good. Their forward pack really stood up. There's a lot to like about how the Sharkies are playing their footy in 2024. William Kennedy had a fantastic performance at the back, scored a nice little try, of course, off a Ramian bat back, I think, from a kick. And then, comes to the hands of Kennedy. Beautiful, gorgeous little dummy, and then just run the rest of the way to score. Sam Stonestreet, congratulations on your NRL debut, mate. And he scored a try in his NRL debut. Awesome to see. He's put the finger out, gesturing to the crowd as he goes over to cross. That's what you love to see. He had 17 runs, so he didn't shy away from work in his NRL debut. I swear he had no errors. Let's have a look. Yeah, no errors from Stonestreet, and scored a try. So that's all you can ask from a player in his debut. Massive congratulations to him. Jesse Ramian and Kale Iro were incredible. I think they were big reasons the Sharks got away with it in this one. Ramian, 21 carries, 152 metres, 52 post-contact, 4 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. Just really good stuff. Meanwhile, Kale Iro, 24 runs for 212 metres, 67 post-contact, 5 tackle breaks. Yeah, those two were like massive, just thorns in the Cowboys' side, to be honest, the entire game. They were really, really good, those two. And, we know how much I speak about Jesse Ramian. Kale Iro, he's an absolute gun. I think on performances like this, he's not going to lose that spot. It's really interesting, though, because obviously, as I said, CSF Talakai, before he moved to the forwards, I thought he was the best centre in the NRL. So, I don't know what they do there, but they're winning games, so maybe they just don't change the formula. Ronaldo Mulitalo made the team of the week, scored 2 tries, 146 metres, 2 line breaks, just typical Ronaldo Mulitalo stuff. He's the best winger in the NRL so far this season. I don't even think it's close with the performances he's churning out. Braden Trindle, 2 tries. He's really warming into the side really nicely. His combination with Nicho Hynes is it's getting there more and more each game, and this one was a perfect example of that. Nicho Hynes himself was very close to my team of the week. Didn't quite make it. Originally, I actually had him as my halfback, like the run-on halfback, like literally just before posting, and then I'm like, I've completely forgot about Ben Hunt, and I threw him in there, and then it was between Nicho Hynes and Isaiah Katoa for the bench. Look, toss of the coin job, but I went with Isaiah Katoa, but Hynes was absolutely phenomenal as well. 17 runs from Nicho Hynes, 130 metres from your halfback, 1 line break assist, 2 try assists, and just kicked really well, defended really well, just everything you want from Nicho Hynes, from your halfback in general. So massive game from him. Fox Sports, I've got a bone to pick with you. If you call that try assist to Tom Hazelton, if you call that a try assist from Nicho Hynes, you are kidding yourself. Get rid of that stat. I own him in Supercoach, so I'm happy to have those points, but that is ridiculous. That is so stupid. That is a 100% Tom Hazelton effort and nobody's try assist. Grow up. Stop having an agenda for these players. Nicho Hynes had 2 try assists. NRL stats is factual. Any other stat is complete and utter piss take. That is my second rant, or maybe third. We've had a few in this podcast, but beyond that, look, we move on. Tom Hazelton, we say it every week, he's doing some incredible stuff. He's going to keep his position in this side, whether it's a run-on front row or not. He's definitely going to have a place on the bench. Even when Adam Fanua-Blake gets here, I think Tom Hazelton will never leave this side, and for good reason. He's got a try in his 24 minutes on the field and had 86 run meters as well. He's just a weapon. Blake Brayley, very, very good once again. He was probably third in the line for my team of the week hooker. Just a fantastic game from him. Oregon Kafusi had a better game. Britton Nickera, all right. Teague Wilton, fantastic. Cameron McInnes, God, I love Cameron McInnes. Only played 48 minutes in this one, so a bit down in his usual numbers. But once again, I say it every week, the art of running in and behind the ruck is so forgotten. It's such a forgotten metric in our game. It's so important. It's invaluable to a team, and Cameron McInnes is the best in the league at it. So massive shout out to him. He was fantastic. And Braden Hamlin-Uele off the bench in his return was also fantastic. Only 23 minutes from him. And in those 23 minutes, he had some really, really powerful carries, 11 runs, 108 metres. That'll wrap us up. Look, it still ended up being quite a long podcast. I do want to make this quite short. Well, not quite short, but I'd like to get them around an hour and 20 minutes would be preferable. But we've got there in about an hour and a half. So thank you guys for tuning into this one. Once again, if you're not following the Instagram, please go and do so. You can see the team of the week that we talked about earlier. Go see the graphic that we've put up for that one and comment on that, message me. It's just a lot more of a way to interact with me, and I'm here to interact with you guys. I'll try and reply as quick as I can. I'm all for it. I really like interacting with you guys. We're getting a lot more traction, not only on the podcast at the moment, but especially on the Instagram. It's blowing up at the moment, and yeah, I'm really thankful for you guys that are not only tuning into these podcasts, but interacting with everything on the Instagram. So yeah, thank you guys so much. You're making this a bit of a reality for me right now, and I hope we can continue growing, and it's all off the back of you guys. So thank you guys once again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.